Welcome, everyone. We're happy to have you here tonight. We love these Q&As. We love the time. Just a minute. There's something going on. Just a minute. I don't know what's happening here. The same thing was happening in the music. So just a minute. I'll be right back. Okay. Can you hear me now? Dawn, can you hear me? Okay. All right. I'm not sure what was going on. Yeah. There's some kind of feedback. I don't know what's happening. Let me check some settings. Save changes. Sorry about this, you guys. I'm trying to figure out what's happening with the audio. Are you guys hearing me twice, or am I just hearing me twice? Dawn? 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 Are you hearing me at all? Are you hearing me twice? Or just
No, I'm hearing you once.
Okay.
I'm hearing you once.
Okay.
Dawn?
All right. Okay. So what's
Are you
happening
hearing
is
me at
I'm
all?
saying it. Okay.
Are you hearing me
I'm
twice?
speaking,
Or
and
no,
then
I'm
there's a
hearing you
delay, and
once.
then it's going
I'm
on.
hearing-
Okay. All right. Anyway. All right. Well, I'm happy to be here tonight. I'm going to start over. I want to welcome everyone that's here live tonight. I see a lot of our old friends, and I see some new friends as well. So thank you for being here. Also, I want to welcome all of those of you that will be seeing us in the replay. We'll leave the replay up for a couple days. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm getting feedback. It's coming back to me on mine, and so I'm talking over myself. So if you see me pausing, I'm really sorry. Okay, so before I bring Tom in, he's why we're here. Before I bring him, and I want to let you guys know that the painting he has behind him is a workshop that we are recording, and we are 7 hours into this painting. And this painting is a handsome, we call him, it's called Handsome Hondo, and he is a male lion that lives about a quarter mile or so from me in my neighborhood. Well, he's in the zoo. He doesn't live in the neighborhood. But anyway, he's a beautiful animal. We took a photo of him. Um, Tom is Tom is painting it, and so we've recorded 7 hours of this. We probably have probably about 3 more hours. So this is going to be a 10-hour workshop. So we're going to release it in the spring, and it'll probably be something that it'll go 3 months, but it's going to be an outstanding paint project. Yeah. Project. So I'm going to bring you in, Tom. And this is, like I said, it's 7 hours in. And so he's got a ways to go. So welcome, Tom.
Welcome.
So if you want to tell us, just give us a little rundown of what's left, what more you're going to do on Hondo.
Okay, well, I left this painting at a point where the paw down here is not finished. None of this is really finished yet. But this reminds me of Leonardo's version of the rocks where he has Mary's hand out like that, and the hand's not finished, but the whole painting's done. So I just wanted to throw that in for my own little thing there. But here's what's going to happen. At this stage, we drew it out. We didn't use a grid or any kind of drawing underneath. I show you how to draw it. So we basically get the design in, the planes where this goes and how the nose goes, the plane of the animal this way, that way, coming down in sections. And then I show you how to map in the basic tones and build up on it. Now this isn't done. This needs to be glazed. That's thinner paint shrouding it out. I need to get a little palette knife down here, some more grass, highlights here on the leg to really have the sun shining on it, and a few more details in the face. So I'm guessing about 3 more hours on this, but the project's pretty cool. I like them. When you get the glazes, then it makes things that look a little flatter look more dimensional. So it doesn't have that total realism look yet until we get to that phase. We need to do the glazing. So when I get more of the stuff back here and get into the more glazing, even on here and down here and around things, it gives it more of a cohesiveness where everything falls together and looks better. Speaking of that, I'm going to say something very weird. You guys are going to not believe this, but sometimes Rembrandt would paint a painting where it looked like it was at this stage, and he would just put ivory black on his palette and then go over the whole painting with ivory black, and it just shrouded it out so it was all very dark looking with thin dark veil over it. And he would wipe that dark off, and it would fall into the gullies of thick paint, and it would make it like there's ridges in the paint, and the darks would fall in there, and then it would also kind of bring things more together, and then you start wiping it out with a damp rag with oil on it, and it would bring the highlights back, and then you'd retouch with highlights. So that's something I'm not going to do, but I've done it, and it scares people. But if you know what you're doing in art, it really does work well. I might do it, I might not. We'll see. Well, I'm tempted to do it just because it's so cool. And that's about it.
All right. Thank you very much, Tom.
Okay.
I just 1 second here. Echo cancellation. I'm chatting with the people of StreamYard to get this feedback problem fixed. But okay, so anyway, if you aren't on our mailing list, I would suggest you get on our mailing list so you know when this workshop is available. Again, it's going to be probably we're guessing March, and this is going to be a long project, but you are going to see every single stroke that Tom puts on here. And Tom, go ahead and spin your chair around because I want to show the palette. I want to show you something else that's special about this. This is the limited palette that he uses in this painting. Well, in everything he does. But you're going to learn how to paint Handsome Hondo using this limited palette. So 6 colors and white is all you're going to use. So that's even better.
And there's no black on there.
No black. You make it black.
Yeah, you can do that by adding yellow, alizarin, phthalo green, phthalo blue, and violet. Or you could just use the alizarin crimson, phthalo green, and if you get it the right proportion, it'll make a black, a really good black.
Yeah. Well, that's great, Tom. So we're really excited. So we're recording this mostly on Fridays, and so I really love to watch him record this, and then we will edit it, and then we'll put it up in the workshop. And so just make sure you're on our mailing list so you know about this. And you never know what Tom's going to teach. And we're going to be looking at different subject matters and everything. So we've got a lot of things planned, a lot of workshops. So there's always going to be something you can be learning. So I hope you're joining us in those events. Okay, Tom, we're going to jump into questions. Okay, first of all, I want to remind people that if you're going to put a question in the chat, in the comments, please put a big capital Q in the beginning of it so we can find it. Dawn and Linda are in the chat, are in the comments watching, and we've got other people in here that will probably answer questions along the way as well. So be sure and put your questions in and we'll get them answered. But we're going to start with the ones that came in. And there's always a question, will there be a replay or recording? And we don't do a recording. We don't pass out a recording, but we leave this up for about 2 days. This last time, I think I left it up for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. So we leave it up longer. So if somebody can't see it live, but we really want you to come live because that's where the fun is. It's fun to see you in the comments and see the comments you're making. Okay, Tom, we're going to get this one over with right off. So how do you handle creative block or periods of uninspiration?
Well, my wife said, go for a walk. Here, and that actually makes sense. If you think about it, let's say you're stuck in your apartment or your house or something, you're just not inspired to paint. Well, maybe you need to go up, get outside somewhere and go for a little walk in a park or something like that. Maybe you'll see an older person sitting on a bench and they're feeding the pigeons or something. And you bring your phone with you and you take a snapshot of that. That's a painting. Or let's say you're 5 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour away from a forest and there's a waterfall like in Silver Falls in Oregon, and you get away from all the noise and you end up near Silver Falls, you take a picture and there's your inspiration. I mean, nature's really your landscape. If you think about it, that will revitalize you. Anything that you get outside in nature is going to revitalize your creativity. And even if you're like, let's say traveling, and you'll say you land in Greece and you go see the Parthenon, come on, that's your inspiration. You're going to be energized. It's going to put stuff in your head and you're going to be happy that you went there. And then you're going to go into a little vineyard or something, or olive grove, and you're going to see all the olive trees. There's your inspiration. Or you're in England or Ireland where the grass is real green and I mean, come on. You know, travel videos. You don't even have to, if you can't get outside and you can't go anywhere, just go online or on YouTube or something and watch Bill Alexander. If that's not going to inspire you, I have no hope for you. Come on, think about Bill Alexander. If he can't pump you up and get you inspired to paint, I guess there's no words for that. I don't think there's a definition for that.
You know,
I think I nailed that.
Okay, Tom, I would just add one thing. I would bet that all the great artists don't wait until they're inspired to paint. They have some kind of way, like you say, go out, look at nature. They create, because every artist is bumped up against this, and they'll never become great if they just sit back and wait and paint when they're inspired. Right?
Well, there's this little thing in life called procrastination and fear. A lot of people are afraid to touch the canvas because it's a fear of failure. So that builds up a procrastination. I'll put it on, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. It's really the fear of failure. You can't fail if you keep working at it. You're never going to succeed in anything if you don't. You should try to fail. How's that sound? I'm the best failure you ever saw. I don't think you've had anybody in your life that failed more than me.
You want to explain that a little bit, Tom?
Well, Yeah, I mean, everything I've tried to do has been hard for me. Nothing's been easy. And I had to do it over and over and persist and over. Even painting in oils. I didn't have, I could draw, but I kept drawing and drawing. I kept going at it. When I was a little child, nobody told me I was a failure. I didn't grow up in a system that said you're a failure. It wasn't until I went to school and I couldn't keep up with certain things that I failed at, but I wasn't stupid. I knew that. I just couldn't keep up because I couldn't understand things. I needed answers to everything. That was my issue. I needed answers to everything. And no one was there to groom me. Like Leonardo's mother, Leonardo da Vinci's mother, literally took him by the side and explained flowers to him, explained the river motion. She explained why birds fly and stuff. And that just gave him a sense of confidence. So you got to pump yourself up, like Bill says, in every one of his uh, videos. He says, you got to tell yourself you're the greatest artist in the world. You got to pat yourself on the back when you do a good job too. This is all about you telling yourself that you're the greatest artist that ever lived. You might not get to Leonardo's phase or stage or something like that, but there's no telling. You don't know. You might end up with doing Monet kind of stuff. Your style might be completely different, might be more like Renoir, or maybe Giorgiani, Titian's teacher. You don't know. Everyone's got their own thumbprint or fingerprint on their art. My style is a little different, a mixture of everything, but it's my style. I notice in my classes when I'm teaching everybody for years, everybody has their own style. So look at it that way. You may feel like you're going to fail, but remember, it's your style. Now, I have a really good example of a person that came to me, and he was just a happy person. He was making a mess out of all of his paintings, but our everyone around him that was in our class loved his work. They loved what they saw, and he was like enthusiastic about it. But he was not doing exactly what we were doing. He was off on a tangent. But eventually he came around and started doing everything closer and closer. But it took some time. But you know what? He had a happy go lucky. That's the key. He had a happy go lucky attitude and he had a desire to paint. And no matter what anybody said or what he did, he didn't care. That's a big issue. Because sometimes we take criticism too deeply. You know, when people start criticizing you or saying that you're not good at something, you might believe what they're saying. Don't believe them. Believe me. I'm going to show you where your problems are. I mean, if you come to me and do my classes, if you've got an issue with an angle, I'm going to gently tell you that, maybe you want to think about making a clock and then find in the middle of that clock and do the arrow this way and that way so you know what angle you're at. It's a passive way of showing you instead of saying, oh, no, you got that wrong. No, that doesn't work. Now, you can't tell people that. You can't treat people that way. It goes in one ear and out the other. And then they make up their own mind. So no, we don't want to do that. Bill didn't want to do that. Leonardo didn't want to do that. Michelangelo didn't want to do that. All the great painters were good teachers. Every one of them that painted well was a great teacher because they knew the problems in painting, which there are. You come up against it. So I'll tell you what Michelangelo said. If everyone knew how hard it was to achieve my mastery, they would not think it's so wonderful. End of story.
Mhm.
Done. Move on. The next question, Lori.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Tom.
I don't know why I said that.
So, okay, all right. Okay, so could you share some tips for aspiring artists looking to improve their skills or make a career out of their passion?
Yes. Very simply, start with the wet on wet method like Bill does. And if you're already past that and you think you're above doing the butt on wet with the mountains and the trees, then go to our master class, because in our master class, the introductory part of the painting and then the intermediate and the advanced is a building block for very interesting effects on how to get that to work in your paint and how to get to the advanced level. We've seen it over and over and over. And I developed a program based off of a lot of different things that I did in the past. And then with Bill's wet on wet and incorporating it all, using all the techniques so that you're able to do the introductory and then the intermediate and advanced, and you will get to the advanced level. And when you get to that level, then you'll be able to move on and get to our new platform. And I'm telling you guys, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Did you see that? Okay. So I'm not lying about this, lying. Basically, the truth of the matter is, if you saw these people or talked to them, how they went from that very, very beginning birch tree to where they are now, they would tell you right up front, they can't believe they've gotten this far in a short amount of time. Because see, the issue is when you start painting or drawing or anything of that nature, a lot of times you go down roads that you have to take another road to get somewhere else. I just go right down the straight path on how to get there. There's no veering off here or veering off there. We're taking one path in a steady course, how to get from this point to that point. And when we get from the beginning point to the end point, you understand things. Instead of going, oh, I'm going to go that way, I'm going to find a better teacher, or I'm going to get more paint, I'm going to go this way. You're so confused, you just don't know what to do. The master class is the beginning point, like all roads lead to Rome. It focuses you down that path step by step so you get to the end product. And then you're really starting to understand it all. That's really what it's about. I've gone down these roads myself. That's what I'm trying to do, take you away from that so you're not veering. I hope my wife doesn't get mad at me. A lot of times we want to go to the store during the week, and I think I got it in my head. We're just going to go to Walmart or Whole Foods or Sprouts or something like that. We're just going there. Nope, not happening. We're literally going to hit 5 places before we actually get to the main place I thought we were going. That frustrates the heck out of me. Every time. And I'm telling you, well, we've got to stop by the bank. What's at the bank? I need money. Okay. What do you mean you need money? Well, I got to go pick up your prescription. What prescription? I'm telling you guys.
Yeah.
It is. I don't want you to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we developed this course, because I didn't want you to go down these roads to get to somewhere where you thought you were going to go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. You know I love you. But it had to happen. I had to say it.
Yep.
I hope you got that.
Okay. I just want to, before we go to the next question or the second half of this question, I want to mention to everyone that Tom's going to do a demonstration later on towards the end of the program tonight. He's going to demonstrate something that will be a lot of fun to watch. So hang in there for that. So the other question about how to make a career out of their passion, I'm going to be talking about that in a little bit with a couple of the other questions. So we'll come back to that. Okay. This person, I'm going to read this to you because it didn't all show up. Basically, what they're saying is they're having problems with magic white. It dries very fast on the canvas. If I put it on there in a few hours, it's dry. Maybe it's an atmosphere question, but what can we do about this? And my question, for my first question would be, are they using Alexander Magic White? Because if they're using something else that isn't Alexander Magic White, we really can't speak to that, but you could probably speak generally to that, Tom. So go ahead and take a stab at that.
Okay. Well, you can add a little spike oil to it if you've got a different product. That ought to slow down the, you can buy it at any health food store or something. It comes in a dropper. You could add a little bit of clove oil. That'll slow it down. just put a few drops in your whatever product you're using. The magic white doesn't dry that fast. In 2 hours, no. Ours doesn't dry that fast. And it's deliberate. You want to keep it wet for a while so you can move the paint around. But if you are having that problem, just go get some clove oil or even a little spike oil. It should work, but not much. Just add a few drops in, test it. If you put it on, you come back in 2 hours later and it's starting to dry a little more and you like it, and you leave it alone. If you want to add a few more drops to slow it down even longer, I think the clove oil will really slow it down. Comes in a dropper, little container like that. Just drop a few drops. There you go.
Okay, I think this next question, Tom, could possibly be part of this question. And the question is, because the thought that comes to my mind is the canvas not primed well enough, and is it just getting sucked up into the canvas or something like that?
Yeah, that's a good point, Lori. Let me explain that one. Okay, so you do have cheap canvas out there that's been sprayed with a polymer. And that polymer, you put the white on, whether it's ours or anybody's, it just sucks it up to where you can't even move the paint. Mm-hmm. So I would, even if you bought a cheap canvas, you can go get yourself some Valspar ultra white, brush it on your canvas, put one layer on, sand it a little bit after it's dry, and use that over that acrylic polymer that they put on there, because you're just not going to get a good result with that. I had opened up a bunch of packages. My wife, she went to the art store and picked them up because we ran out of canvas that size. And she brought back these canvases, and I tried to get the white to move, and it was just sucking it up, and we couldn't. And then I just literally had to stop the class. I had to think really hard and thought, what's going on here? So what I did was I took an art wipe and I wiped all the canvases down. I gave everybody their right time. Everybody took a half-hour break, and I sat around and wiped off 10 canvases, 16 by 20s, got all the white off as much as I could. And then I really scrubbed it out with soft scrub and got it all out. And then I laid all the canvases on the table. Boy, you really triggered something here, Lori. I was desperate because they were from I think they were a group of Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or something. And I laid it on the table and I soft scrubbed and got all that white off. And then I primed it with that ultra white on there. And then everybody went back later on. I blow dried it, went back up on the canvas, blow dried it. And guess what happened? The white was moving beautifully. And I was like,
yeah. Well, this next question, Tom, is right in there. It says, for a beginner, does the quality of the canvas matter? And
I believe
you've talked about it a little bit, but would you expound on that?
Yeah, well, Kurt, if you get a cheap canvas, they're not going to make the weave as tight. You're not going to have the same, like if you tap your finger on it and it sounds like a drum, like boom, they really stretched it on there real tight. And you're never going to get a really bright white canvas on any product that you buy, because they're going to find a way to not get that bright white. And you should add that ultra white on there, because the brighter the canvas, the lighter the painting.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And then that also, Tom, we may as well talk about paint and other supplies as well. Does a beginner buy quality art supplies?
Absolutely. I mean, just put yourself where Bill was. Do you think he's going to do a half-hour program where the paint doesn't move and it's cheap? And here's Bill. All right, here's Bill. I'd love to see you, right? And then all of a sudden he goes up there and does the sky, and the paint's not moving properly because it's full of fillers and different things and cheapened products, and you can't make the paint move. Do you think Bill would stand for that in a half-hour show? No. You need good quality paint. That means when the paint comes out of the tube, it is definitely a way to set yourself up for success, because you got to have paint that's got high pigmentation. It's got to have a good oil in it, and it has to spread on the canvas really well. if it's not moving on the canvas, you're in trouble. And you're not going to find any of the Renaissance artists in history that had cheapened down paint. There were artists in France who literally went to Italy to buy their paint because they wanted to have the best. Or the manufacturers ordered the pigments from different parts of the world that were high quality to put it in the paint so that you can have the better result.
So, Tom, you know what? Talking about Bill Alexander, two things come to my mind. You know, he formulated the paint and the magic white because he wanted to make sure his students could get the very, very best paint they could. So, you know, he wasn't satisfied with what he was getting. That's why he did what he did. The other thing that I think is really amazing, I would love to see one of these. In the early days, Bill handmade the palette knife for his students. He'd get like a trowel and then he'd shape it the way he wanted. I would love to see one of those. If any of you out there have one of these, boy, take a picture and send it to me because I would love, love, love to see that. So, but yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
Well, imagine this, Lori, before we move on. Imagine this. So Bill's out, and you know, when he was out there painting in all the malls and stuff like that, the paint's working really well, and he's really trying to sell himself on classes because he did a lot of that before he did PBS, right?
Yes.
So he's selling this idea. Then you get to the class and it fails because you got this cheap paint and you can't do anything. How would that make Bill look?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be good.
Right. And not only that, Tom, there's some people on here that are teachers. And, you know, you can imagine if you know what happens when you've got a limited time that you have to get your students out the door. And if people are struggling with their products, it slows your whole class down. So, you know.
I tried those products.
Yeah.
I dumped $300, $400 worth of paint in the garbage one day and decided, nope. Gave Lori a call and said, guess what? I'm on board, Lori.
Yep. And
I mean, I'm on board 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a little bit, like 99.9. I'm 100% on.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't looked back since, have we?
We know.
No. Okay, here's the next question for you. Actually, I'm going to go up. Let me find it. Noah wanted to know about gift cards, if we had gift cards. And I was wondering if you guys sell gift cards. And Noah, yes, we do. And I believe Dawn is going to put the link in the comments. And so, yeah, it's coming up to Christmas. So this might be a good thing to put on your Christmas list for your friends and family. So, well, family, I don't know about how many of my friends. Anyway, you get it.
You love your friends, Lori.
I know. I love my friends. All right. So the next question is, let me take that one off. Okay. So we took that one off. We've done that. Okay, here we go. We kind of have talked a little bit about this, but let's talk a little more about it. What are the most important habits or practices for beginners to develop as they start their journey in oil painting?
Well, first of all, get very familiar. Well, there you go. You just opened up the master class again because the habits are in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I show you the easy way to do it so you're not making a mess. Mm-hmm. I mean, some people say, I don't want to paint in oils, one, because it stinks like heck. Wrong. Number two, I don't want to paint in oils because it's messy. Wrong. You just haven't learned how to do it right. Number three, I don't want to clean up with toxic materials. Wrong. We show you how to clean up completely non-toxic. Number four, I don't want to use toxic paint. Wrong. We're not using toxic paint. Mm-hmm. You're completely safe. You're completely it's golden. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is golden.
Well, everything we're doing right now, Tom, we've designed that somebody can paint safely in their kitchen. And, you know, I mean, it's just, that's the way it is. And, you know, you hear us mention this a lot, and I'll tell you why. let's see, I'm going on, I've been with Alexander Art over 37 years, and Tom's been painting a lot long. You know, we have a long track record, which means we've tried a lot of things. And there's nothing that we've seen. And Tom taught this program in his studio for 20 years. We've been doing it online for 8 years, and there's nothing that I've seen that progresses an artist faster than this masterclass. If you want to save time, if you want to get to where you want to go, which is to become a great artist, this is the fastest track I know. And like I said, I've known a lot of artists, and we've done a lot of different programs over the years, and there's nothing like this. It's like Tom said, he just gives it to you right down the line. And the reason he can is because he's already made all of the other either mistakes or tried things that didn't work. He's weeded out the things that don't work, and he's found the fast track for getting you there. So that's why we keep bringing it up, and things go back. We're not, I mean, really, we know that that's the best way for you to become a great artist. So yeah, and that's the thing. We have it set up to where we have you pause at certain times. We have you progress at a certain pace. And so some of that is part of the important habits that you want to practice, that you want to get in. But I will add, make sure you've got an outstanding teacher. If you're a beginner, and if you don't have to unlearn things later, if you can learn the right way right now from an outstanding teacher, it's going to save you so much time and heartache and headache, because you're going to have to unlearn the things that you already learned if you learned the wrong things. So even though there's a ton of stuff on YouTube you can watch and everything, just make sure you're with a great teacher, because that's really what it's about. Anything else you want to add to that, Tom?
Yeah, is that a reference to me, Lori?
Yeah, you know it.
Okay.
You know it.
So what I guess what you're saying is that Bill Alexander, if you've been watching Bill Alexander, and Lori's comparing me, linking me to Bill, she's linking me like we're connected. Bill and I are connected.
Yeah.
So why would Lori put me on here, create this class, the master class, the Beyond and the Verrocchio and the new platform? Why would she do that if she didn't see value in it?
Well, yeah, no.
I mean, I'm just being upfront and honest, Lori. I'm like having a conversation with you and the people.
Yeah.
Why would she do that?
Yeah.
Just because I'm a painter doesn't mean, I can be doing what everybody else is doing, but I've got some value to teach people. I have some things that people don't know, and people should know.
Yeah.
And they can stay in their environment and paint completely safe. They can use non-toxic oil, they can learn how to put their paint out properly, like Michelangelo did, and so did Bill, in an intrinsic palette. They can learn how to paint properly and not make a mess, and just keep themselves I'm in my studio. How big is this? It's like 14 by 12 or something. There's no fumes in here. I don't have a fan on. Here's my brushes I just worked with today. I cleaned up. Look, watch this. Look, nothing. I mean, Bill did that on TV one time. He cleaned his brush and did this or something. Remember, he rubbed it on his chin? Well, this is soap, water, and vegetable oil. That's what I clean the brush with. But I show you how to do it. And then you look at the medium. Here's our medium right here. It's a completely clear medium. Look. A little bit of lavender. That's it. Come on, people. Don't you want to do the Bill Alexander master class with Tom Anderson? It makes sense. And then you got your paint. The paint's just non-toxic. It's even got the label on to prove it's been tested. There's no other way. Cut to the chase. Go into the master class. You won't regret it. And I know this sounds like a sales pitch, but I can sense there's people out there going, I don't know. I hear this and I hear that and I hear this yeah, you hear a lot of stuff. But you'll never know if you don't try it. At least try a couple of classes that go to the birch tree, the waterfall, and then when you get to the palm tree or the moon glow, you're going to start going, whoa, I'm learning something. I'm getting somewhere.
Yep.
And then you'll start building your confidence up. It takes about 2 or 3 paintings to really fill it out. And then you start going, I didn't know you could do that. Oh, really? I'm not making such a mess now. I'm actually moving on. You should see what they're doing. I mean, I wish I could get all these people in a room and like when you're in a company and they take the company photo because they're proud of their business. That'd be fun to do, huh? With all your students.
Yeah. Yep. I'll just mention, because we're talking about masterclass right now, is that if you're on our email list, or if you're not, get on our email list, because I'm sending out emails over the next week. This will be the last time that we open up masterclass for the year. So now's the time to get in if you're not already in. And you know what? Just so you know, we have payment plans. I mean, it's really, really doable. And it's very, very doable. I'm
on Ancestry and I got a payment plan because I enjoy that. That's my hobby, doing research and DNA and history and all that.
Yeah.
I'm on it. So, if you got an interest in art, get on our payment plan.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, you can get into our masterclass for the price of maybe taking your family out to dinner. So a payment a month. We have a payment plan that it's not any different. Just stay home just keep your family at home and eat at home, and then put that money towards masterclass and you'll do great. Okay,
I didn't know
next
that,
question.
That's cool.
Yeah. Mick is asking, I like your 2.5-inch brush, Mick, in your picture. He says, I have yet to find a good use of a sable brush when doing wet on wet landscapes. What is this brush best used for in landscapes?
Well, a sable brush is a soft brush. Okay. So if you're all right, here's a good point. Who's asking the question?
Mick is asking.
Okay, Mick. When you're putting down your foundation in your painting, you need something like a bristle brush that's stiffer, because you're rubbing that paint down deep to get a design. The sable brush comes in later on when you're trying to do softer things, like fumato the sky out with a little white, translucent white, or if you're doing some glazing, or if you're doing fine little details with a small sable brush. That's when you want to use it. In the upper layers, when you're doing it, another process above all the scrubbing and everything. It doesn't work for adding thicker paint on.
Tom, I can tell you something that Bill would have used it for if he had time on television. When he laid out the mountain, when he put the base on the mountain.
Yep.
Sometimes when he wasn't painting for television, he would take that soft brush and he'd go in and define that sky, where the sky and the mountain meets. That's a great way to use that brush, is to, go in and get that.
But after you've laid down your foundation.
Right, exactly. He'd lay the paint down with a big brush, and then he'd go in and if he wanted to change a shape or something, because now the paint's very thin, so it'd be easy to move because it's not, it's his base layer, so that's a way to use it too, to better define your mountain or anything that you're applying on the first layer.
Now there's another part to that though, Lori, like, okay, here's your Alexander flat sable. Okay, so this is a 1/4 inch. Now if I put a lot of medium in there and I use like let's say a red or a burnt umber color, and I design my drawing thinly and get it down and scrub it in, you could use it that way.
Yeah,
but
that's
if you're
a good point.
If you're just trying to use the paint directly where it's thicker and you're trying to get it down and scrub it in between the thick and the thin, you need a stiffer brush. But you have to really thin it down, the paint down, not to almost like a watercolor, but not quite as thin. And then you can move it around to draw it, scrub it in, and create all kinds of sepia effects. And then you can come in with thicker paint a little bit later, then go back to the sable again. So you'll use You could work it all the way through, but it takes a little practice.
Mhm.
You just have to be able to understand how the paint is thin to thicker to thin to thick.
Yeah.
But your bristle brush is a better scrubbing process in the very beginning because it gets that paint down in the pores really well, or the crevices, you know.
Mhm. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take Andy's question, Andy Caccioli's question. And he says, Lori, are the 2.5-inch brushes going to be available again? And unfortunately, they probably won't be anytime soon. We've got 1-inch brush. We don't have the 2.5-inch brush. So, but I'd be watching eBay. Any of those that you can get off of eBay, I would certainly buy them up, because those old brushes, and even if you get some that, or even if you have some that aren't, that have old paint and stuff in it, create that cleaning solution that Tom teaches, and then also add a little soft scrub, and then just leave that brush in there for several days. That paint will come out.
It'll break it right up. It'll just start falling apart.
I had some serious dried out paint brushes that we used from at like our Silver Fall seminars, and I thought I was going to have to throw them out. And I had about probably 8 of these 1-inch or 2.5-inch brushes, and I put them down in that solution, and every single one of them cleaned up.
But you know why he's asking the question, Lori, about the 2.5-inch brush? You know the answer, don't you?
Why they're asking if it's available?
Yeah.
Yes, because it's a great brush.
Why is it great, though? That's the key.
Well, there are a whole bunch of reasons. Because it was designed to do what it does. And it has the tapered edges. It goes to a chiseled point. All of the things that Bill wanted to do, it does the same thing the 1-inch does. It just does it bigger. There's more. It covers more ground.
And there's more hairs that are in the ferrule.
Right.
So when you buy a brush, and that's the key, because it's tapered, like you said, but there's more hairs. Bill didn't skimp on the hairs. He needed a lot of hair in there, so it's really packed in.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it's really packed in, you get that bounce when you hit the canvas. It bounces really well. It doesn't spread out and flare. That's why
I know.
he wants the brush, because it has the properties.
I know. I want it too, you guys. But the problem is the quality that we can get. I haven't found the right quality yet. And unfortunately, when Bill first started painting, he could go to the hardware store and buy hardware store brushes. Now, what they've done is they've changed the way they're making these brushes. They're making it like this, and they're putting a place to hold paint in here, like a well inside the bristles. And so you can't go find a hardware brush that will do what we're doing.
Yeah, it doesn't do the same thing.
Yeah. So, Andy, I'm sorry to say that it's not, at some point we may have them again, but not anytime soon. So, that's nice. Andy was talking about, she said, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the master class, and she is doing really, really well.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Right.
Okay, we did this one. Let me find out where. Sorry, I have a whole list of questions here, and I need to find where to shut that one off. When we first did our first event, I had somebody that helped me with this, and that was doing it from a distance. And my son, who's in his 20s, who watches a lot of YouTube events and lives and all that, said, Mom, you can just do it yourself. He said, everybody, they just do it themselves. They just put the questions up and they do all this. So anyway, when I was looking for that one, Levi's comment to me that, Mom, you can do it yourself, came to me. Okay, here's a great question. What are some common misconceptions or myths about oil painting that beginners should be aware of? Well, you went through some of them. Oil stinks. You went through quite a few of them. Are there any more?
Well, Misconceptions. Paint dries too slow.
Mhm.
That's actually a good thing, actually. Um, I don't know what that would be. I find oils to be the better product than watercolors or acrylics.
Yeah, they're more forgiving, aren't they?
Flexibility with them.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the we've addressed quite a few of them. I think one of them, the main one, is that people think that if you're just starting out, you should use student grade and inferior products, and that's probably the biggest one that I hear a lot or see. And it's like, oh well, I'll save my good paint. You won't ever get to your good paint if you're waiting, because you will not be as successful as you want when you're starting, and you'll say, oh, I can't do this. This isn't for me. So use the good stuff first, you know?
Yeah, well, if you start off with, you're right, Lori. If you start out, set yourself up for success.
Yeah.
If you're starting off with inferior material, you're not going to progress. You're not going to get it. It's going to be very hard to get there.
Yeah.
Very hard. Well, as a matter of fact, didn't we just have someone on this last painting that what was that called? Serene
Winter.
Serene Winter. Okay. So I did the show, Serene Winter, with Lori, and they're painting it now. What we have, 25 people or 27? I don't know.
Mhm.
We had so many people paint it, and one person was running into a glitch. And I looked at her painting. I said, I know why you're struggling. I'm going to say it anyhow, because I'm just doing over the computer. I'm just looking at it. And I say, are you using Belle Alexander's paint? No, I knew it. I just knew it. I could tell. I could tell by the pigment. And this is over the computer, me visually looking through it through the computer. And I hope that person's not listening now. And if they are, go ahead and step in and say something, because I would feel bad if I'm making you embarrassed. But the thing is, they admitted it, and the person said that the paint was making it difficult to make the paint move and how to do the painting. So she ordered some paint from Lori, and now we're seeing progression in her paint. So that proof's in the pudding, guys.
Yeah.
That's absolutely the truth. I didn't make that up. This happened last week. She was struggling to get through everything. The paint wasn't moving anywhere. It was short paint because it was inferior paint. It didn't slide along like it should have. And she was just struggling. And I felt so bad for her, because I could see she had talent. I could see she was moving the right direction. She just couldn't get there. And it was frustrating the heck out of her. And I let her know, it's not your fault. You're not the problem, because you're doing a good job struggling through this paint. You're struggling through the paint. It's not you. It's the paint. And then
Tom, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, we're frozen on the screen, just so you know. And
Okay.
so I just have a conversation. Just 1 second.
Sorry. I guess when I leaned forward on the camera, I kind of leaned forward, Lori. That might have messed it up.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
Like my face.
Okay, yeah, you're back, and so am I. Okay. All
want
right.
me to try it again?
Oh no, we can hear you. What? Say it again.
It's not you. It's the paint.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Bridget says huge changes in her painting after she started using the paint. Mick wants to know if we're going to have any Black Friday sales or sales in December. Usually what we do is we're kind of like, we take the Apple model where we don't really discount our products. What we do is we try to keep them as reasonable as we possibly can. However, we will bring things that maybe only show up for Black Friday. Like we'll put sets together and do some things like that. So watch for that. The other question I have, and you can put the answer in the chat. Let me know. One of the things that I've been thinking about is well, I've actually done it, but would anybody like to have, this painting that I have behind me, I'm just going to duck out of the picture here for a minute. And I want you to see, you can't see the whole painting, but this is a Bill Alexander painting. And this is one that's on, let's get the mic out of the way so you can kind of see, you can see most of it. Sorry about that, you guys. That was probably pretty loud. But you can see most of it. And let me know if you'd be interested. But what I want to do is we have had some of these because, like I said, I've got some that are on my wall that nobody's ever seen that, you know, that I have and that I would like to be able to share. I've got some beautiful ones of Bill's. And what I'd like to do, I'd like to know, and you can put it in the comments if you'd be interested in something like this. What I want to do, what we're thinking about is bring for Black Friday, bringing out a really, really good deal, having some of the paintings, these paintings that I have that nobody has, and have them printed on canvas. And so you could have a Bill Alexander painting hanging in your house that is a print on canvas, and the quality is outstanding. Yeah, Tom has seen them. They're outstanding. And but I just have some unique paintings that nobody has, you know, some are a little different than others that what you normally see. So if you think that would be something you would be interested in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing some polls in on our email list and just kind of try to find out from people if they, you know, which subjects they like. But anyway, we've done 4 of them or 3 of them now. And just so you know, Tom, one that I did just because I wanted to see how it would look is I did Catalina.
You did my painting?
Your painting. I did your painting.
You did my painting, Lori?
I did your painting, and I wanted to see what it looked like smaller.
Did you have it up there?
No, I don't have it. I haven't picked it up yet. So.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so
it is a nice painting.
Yeah, it's a beautiful painting. It's one of my favorites, and it's like everybody's favorite. And I wanted to do one for anyway. I won't get into that any further, but yeah. So we'll be doing some other things, other paintings too. But I thought I'd start with Bill's, and so and like I said, I've got some beautiful ones that are on my wall that only people that come to my house see them. So I'd love to share them with all of you. And one way I can do it is I found, like I said, it's a really, really good quality print company that prints them right on whatever size I want. And usually I'll keep it in proportion, but we'll give you options to either have full size or smaller or whatever. And you'll be really happy with the pricing.
I get where you're going. How many people, all right, hang in there. I get the big picture now. Takes me a little while, you know. I get the big picture. So how many people love Bill Alexander? Raise your hand.
Yeah. Yep. Or put yes. Well, don't put yes in the comments because we might think you want to buy a painting now.
Well, wait a minute. How many people love Bill Alexander? So wouldn't it be nice to have a nice print of Bill Alexander's painting that's one of his that he did? It's not the original, but it is one of his.
Yes.
paintings.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the thing is, some of these that I have, I actually watched him paint. You know, I mean, that's the beauty. And it's the ones I have on my wall. A lot of them are not, they're not the ones he did for television. They were done in a little bit longer. Like this one, I wish you could see the whole painting here, but this is really a beautiful one. I love the painting behind me. But anyway, yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. So anyway.
Sorry to keep interrupting you, Lori. I just love this idea.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The thing is, I walk around and I see these beautiful paintings that I have, and I have a lot of yours, as you know, these beautiful paintings where Tom spent 24, 10, anywhere from 10 to 24 hours on a painting that are just, they're just gorgeous paintings that at some point, we might want to sell as prints because, somebody might not paint it, but they may want it on their wall, so anyway. And I know a lot of times Dawn will come on and say, oh, I like that one. I love this painting that we're doing. And so how can I'm without giving her the original, how can I get one to her? That's how I
Are
can
they
get one to her.
affordable? Very
Yes, they're
affordable?
very, very affordable.
Well, that'd be beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
if you do a 24 by 36 of Bill's painting, and
Hmm.
then they go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something and get a nice frame they could put on,
Yeah.
they could have the beautiful painting of Bill's hanging up there. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then, or the way we'll do it, we'll either do, they can buy it a 24 by 36, or they could buy like a 12 by 18. So if they want a smaller one, if they have a smaller space. So we'll give them different options of what kind. Oh, that's a good idea. Noah wants to know. This is a good one. I like this idea. Can we get Tom's prints and he signs them after they're printed? Yes, we could do that.
Yeah, I could sign it. You send it to me, I'll sign it and then send it off. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that adds another step to the process, but we'll certainly look into that, Noah. Thanks for the idea. That's a great idea.
I'll have to charge you extra, Noah. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, there would be, just because there'd be 2 shipping. But anyway, I'm so excited about this, you guys, because people are wanting yours too. So
what about the eagle? That'd be cool.
Yeah, the eagle is a great one. That one's up on the wall. I mean, I could tell you all kinds of different ones, but eventually it'll be something where you can go in and you can order the ones you want, the sizes that you want. But what I wanted to do was something just special for Christmas this year. What I wanted to do was put some of these out that people could buy if they wanted to. So that's kind of, Noah, that's the way we do it. Rather than putting our paint on sale, which I know you guys would all love if we would put our paint and brushes on sale, we do something that's kind of interesting every year. And we put a 6-pack of fan brushes together and give you a really good price on that. So watch for that. You can never have too many. We have 3 different sizes of fan brushes. And so that's a special that only shows up once a year. So we'll probably do that as well.
Lori, I saw your paintings, the ones that most people haven't seen that Bill did, that you saw, he did them. And I tell you, when you stand in front of them, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, that is so beautiful. But what I want to ask you now, the quality of the print, I got it through you about a week or 2 ago. The quality came out beautiful, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did.
The quality looks like a Bill painting right in front of you.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. I don't have it. I don't know where it is. I had a little mountain scene that I turned into a 12 by 18 that's just beautiful. I got one, I did 2 of them. And the other thing I did is we tested them. I sent one out to Linda and to Dawn to see how they were packaged, because the printer actually shipped them. And they were really, really well protected. So,
wow.
We're really excited about this. So that's something that we'll do. But I like this idea of having Tom sign them. And we could even do a series of numbered prints to where, maybe it's even more special, because it's, we only print maybe so many of one, like 100 of one, and you get a signed edition with a certificate. We could do something like that too.
If you say 100, you stop at 100 and that's it. You don't print 1,000,000 and then say that, you know what I mean?
Oh, no. What you do is you print 100 of them that are signed and dated. And, if later on, if you print them, that, they won't have the numbered, that would be its own series. So you can still print the painting. It's a different way.
Oh, okay. I got you now.
Wouldn't have your signature, wouldn't have. So if anybody wants to put any feedback for us in the comments, feel free to do that. But we're looking at doing something like that in the next little bit.
Great.
And again, make sure you're on our mailing list, because that's where everybody knows about all this stuff. So we are at the hour point, and Tom, we have a lot more questions, and the good news is we have a lot more months and a lot more Q&As. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is have you go ahead and set up for your demonstration. Okay. And so I'm going to talk. There's a question in here I'm going to look for, and then I'll see what I can answer while you're setting up, and then I'll just watch for you and bring you back when you're ready.
We got a good routine here, huh, Lori?
Yeah, we do. We'll see you in a bit. Okay, let's see. Just a minute. There's a question in here. Oh, I got to go back to just a minute. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. And this is something else. Somebody asked the question, okay, this one. The question was, did Bill want to open a painting certification program, much like his student Bob Ross? If so, I'd love to participate in that. First of all, Bob was one of our first certified instructors. So we actually had a program before Bob did. And then we also continued our program, and we probably have about 500 certified instructors out there that we certified prior to about, I want to say till about 2012, 2014. And we haven't certified anybody since then. However, we are bringing a program back. And we're bringing a couple different programs back. And so you'll be hearing about that here pretty soon. We're looking at doing a certification program that for like the Bill Alexander side of things. If you want to teach Bill's projects and the wet on wet and that. And if you want to do a program, you want to teach that. We're also going to have, different levels of certification. And so, over this next 6 months or a year, you'll be hearing more about this kind of stuff. Right now, we're going to start with, we're going to do a special program that it's going to be an invitation only. And we'll be inviting people, a small group of people that are going to go through, it's going to be, I'm still working out the details, but it'll probably be like a 6 month or maybe even a year-long program with me to learn, and it'll be all about teaching art online, how to market yourself, all of that kind of stuff on what you can do to turn your hobby into a career. And I'm still working out the details, so I don't know exactly how long it's going to be, but I'm thinking it'll be probably 6 months to a year. And I'm only going to probably take 5 to 10 people. And so if that's something that you're interested in and you want to know more about, go ahead and you can reach out to me at Laurie, L-A-U-R-I-E, at alexanderart.com, or you can put something in the comments if you're interested in becoming a teacher. Yeah. And so this program will be different than the one that we had in the past. We always say, when we've got so much more we can offer now than we could when we were certifying before. And so I really think that we're going to help people really be successful at what they're doing. And we've been at this a long time. We've learned a lot. And, I think that we can pass this on to other people, and you guys can benefit, and you can pass on your love of painting to other people. And, there's so many more ways to teach now than just going like into a store, which is what we used to do. Is we'd go into the stores or different places and people would teach. But now there's the whole online. You can teach online as well. And so we've got a lot of experience in that now. And we've like Tom has done with the painting part, we've streamlined the teaching online. And so I want to, start working that with other people, passing that on. So if you're on right now and you're interested and would like to know more about the program we're going to start in the fall, not in the fall, after the first of the year, it'll be after the first of the year. I don't know quite how soon, but just put in the chat that you're interested, and Don will pick up on that, and we'll reach out to you, and we can have a conversation and see if like I did say, it's by invitation only. And so there'll be kind of an interview process to get into this first group. And so that's, but I'd love to talk to you if you're interested in it. So All right, Tom is ready. We're going to bring him back to the stage, and I'm going to come off. And Tom, it's all.
All right. Thanks for all that information, Lori. Sounds like good stuff. Man, you guys are working hard. You guys, you ready? Okay, so let me show you a trick here. So I already have this canvas primed, and I want to talk about um, the question I got was, how do you make snow? Okay, like coming down, okay, or rain or snow. All right, now let's forget that's a black canvas. Say you got a gray background, you've done the magic white. There's a way to put the snow up there, but there's also, if the canvas is dry, and I'm using this black background for a purpose, just so you can see it, to see the demonstration. But I want you to go down to the palette, and I want you to see something here before I even start it. Okay, this is a acrylic, black acrylic canvas. Okay, and I'm going to take my brush and my medium, and I'm going to show you a trick. Move it this way or this way?
Down.
Down.
Oh, no.
Back the other way?
Let's see. Let me do it.
Okay, we're going to try to get the camera to get this shot.
Hey, Tom. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So she's adjusting it. Okay, good. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so you guys are like, look how flat the canvas is. In order to make, if your canvas is dry and you want to add snow to your painting, it's gonna, you need to do this. But if you're doing the wet on wet and the canvas is already wet and you're gonna do your snow, you can keep it wet and do the snow that way. But I need to wet this up. So I'm going to show you how I did this big canvas. You can take the end of your brush like this, get into your medium, and just do this. Lay it out on the, I put a little bit of burnt umber in there just for the fun of it. But look what I'm doing. Just do that. Tap it off. Get it out of there. Then just take a paper towel, and this will make it so you can actually get your snow on a dry canvas. Because if you don't do this, it's not going to move very well. So now I'm going to rub this in. You can see that it's livening up the canvas. It's actually given a nice sheen to it. So you can do this flat, or you can do it, it's better to lay it flat and just rub it in. Now, when you do this and you rub it in, you want to make sure that you're just getting it really down in there. Get it rubbed down really, really well. If you put burnt umber in there, it's actually going to make it dry much quicker with your magic clear. So this will give you a nice, real fast drying property. Like in a couple of days, you'll have a good drying process. So rub it in real good, like that. Put it off the side. Now I did that on this canvas already. You can see this looks more shiny, and I rubbed it in really well. So the question was, how do you make snow? Okay, so I'm going to go. I did this about 2 or 3 hours ago. How much is on there? It's a small film. It's barely even there. It almost feels dry now. Look, I'm barely getting any on my fingers. So here's how you make snow. Take a little bit of your medium from here. Can we see that? Go down more.
No. Where'd you use the palette?
Oh, wait, Tom. Linda's needs to adjust. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Okay.
So I got a little bit of my medium. I'm going to drop it right next to my white. You can't see it because this is the clear medium. I'm going to loosen up the white. Get it real kind of milky like. Think about milk when you do this. So there's a lot of medium right there, but now that's very milky. I can see the palette too when I do this. This is called a volatura. Now we need a longer shot, overall shot. You take one of your fingers. If you're right-handed, use your pointer finger. If you're left-handed, use your pointer finger. I'll do it this way. Take your finger like this and run it across like that. See, that's why we got the black canvas, so you can see it too. So if you do that, it's going to spray. So watch. Are we picking that up? Are we seeing that? Okay.
Yep, we're seeing it.
Now, okay, now that's a lot of snow in the distance. Isn't that pretty? Look, you can do a space scene like this. You could do sand on a beach. You could do pebbles, put little dark things underneath that. But another thing you could do, it's kind of cool. You can turn your brush around and go back. If you go back to the palette, turn your brush around. You can touch the end of your brush and you can get bigger ones in here when you go back up here and just put little dots on here that are larger. So you got a lot of ways to do things. Pick up a little more, put larger dots. So you got ones that are far and ones that are closer. Now that's starting to look like a space scene, isn't it? Now, suppose, let's wipe that end of that brush off. Now suppose you want it to look like rain. How are you going to make that look like rain? Now you got to think about this. When you're going to make it look like rain, if you want the rain to go that way, streaking down like that, one way you could do it is take your painting that you have, turn it upside down like so. I'll lower it down here so you can see it because I have to get to it. Put that up. You get your liner brush, your Alexander liner brush, only because it has a really good tip on it. And I could show you that tip too if we go to the palette. I'll put it up against the white. Look at that. I hope you get the point. Okay, so if I want the rain to go the way I was saying down this way, then I want to pull that way.
Tom,
Yeah.
I accidentally hit the wrong button and took you from so we missed a few of your words. So
Okay.
you said take your brush, and then we didn't hear you for a bit. So
oh, okay. Take your brush, and I'm flashing it against that magic white, and look at the point on that. Get the point? Okay. So now, when you go back up to the canvas, if you want your rain streaking down in this direction, you're going to pull this way, and that will make it look like rain. So you touch one of your dots, and you pull it. Now it looks like that could be a meteor, or it could be rain too. So you just keep doing a lot of it, and then it starts looking like rain falling down onto the ground. But you got to make sure everything's going the same way. If you start going like this, you're in trouble, because then the rain, rain's going to drop either straight down or the wind's blowing it, or something like. Maybe you get a little turbulence now and then, but in general, you just keep doing this until you get a whole bunch of these done. Takes a little time. You touch these and you keep sliding them. Now, if I didn't put that oil on earlier, this wouldn't be dragging like that. It would just be like, it would be dragging, but it wouldn't be as elongated. Now, these are hard to see because they're so small. So you just come in and do a few more big ones. Pick it up. Hit this, hit that, hit that, hit that, hit that. Just go crazy with it.
Just a second, Tom. Linda, will you go ahead and zoom in really tight on those on the close-up, so we can go in a little tighter to see that, please? There you go. Okay, now Tom, I'm gonna
Push more up there.
Yeah, go ahead and go ahead and do some more.
Okay. Oopsie, oopsie. I got excited. You just got to do a lot of these. And And it doesn't look, it looks like a space scene when you got black, but it'll only, if you got a nice gray background and some trees and and a little cottage or something and a river or something, it looks like rain or snow. But here it just looks like meteors coming down, you know? But the idea is there too. Then you just touch and drag, touch and drag, touch and drag, touch and drag. Try to go in the same direction. Just keep doing this, and you do a lot of them. You do enough of them, it really starts looking like rain. Do you see that's working now? Do you see that? So now I'll flip it up the other way. And you can imagine if you had a little snow scene back there, how this is going to be dropping down, you know. I put up here or lower. So if you think about that, now you can do something else with the ones in the back. They're far enough away. And sometimes I would let this just sit for a while before I do this. But you can take your fan brush, a clean one, and you could just kind of pull the ones that are in the distance back like this. Just kind of streak it like that a little bit. You could do these first before you do the ones in the front, but I just wanted to show you. You could sometimes, if you're doing it soft enough, now you just have to imagine there's something behind here. You know, the black canvas is really making it work so you can see it well, but this is the way you'd make your rain. Look how nice that looks. Look. Now this wouldn't be going as well. I'm telling you the truth. It wouldn't be going that well if I didn't have that surface pre-wet. Can you see the streaks in there? Okay. And then sometimes you can go over the whole thing, but you got to go real light like this, like really, really light like that. So there's a lot of ways to tackle this, you guys. Look. Uh-oh, that one's got a starburst. That is definitely a comet. No, just kidding. But that would make your rain. And your snow would just be dots. Just like, you know, dots. But if you want it rain, that's what that would be. But you'd have to have a scene in here. This just looks like a comet, like we're being invaded, or not invaded, we're being hit by comets. But imagine a nice little background with trees and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do something real quick. Sometimes you can't resist it. Sometimes you can't resist things, guys. Watch this. There's the thing called I can't resist it. What about that one? Scrumble that out, build this up, let that fade away. I'll give you an idea. I don't know if you ever saw this before. That's called the goat. We call this one Ghost Mountain. That's kind of funny, huh? Ghost Mountain. It still looks like a meteor thing because there's no sky up here. That looks crazy, doesn't it? All right, so now let's build up a little bit of color. Let's take a little bit. If I take a lizard and put it down here, I should put a little red up in that sky. I don't know. Should I? No. I'm wondering if I should. Here's a little bit of red. I'll try that. I'm going to tint the sky up a little bit. I'm taking out some of my rain and meteors. I'll destroy this one because it's too much. That's too much. See, I didn't want that big of a dot. So I might have to add some more up there. But yeah, here you go. Let's try that. I'm going to do something you guys probably never seen before. Okay. Tell me if I'm going overboard here, Lori.
No, you know, I always love it when you say we're gonna show you something you haven't seen before, because that happens all the time.
Oh, I'll grab a little white, put it in here. I'll just go into the palette, grab a little white. we'll see what that makes. We don't know yet, do we? We have no idea what that's going to do. But we don't care because we have the power. I think that's what I'm saying. We have the power. You probably need a little bit of that down there to keep it cohesive, you know. All right, let's go do something interesting. Let's get a little bit of more alizarin, drop it here, put a little phthalo green in it, see if we can come up with a gray, because gray is the way. I'm gonna mix it in, a little more phthalo green. I was kind of backing off of that. So if I make black with alizarin crimson and phthalo green, and how do I know it's black? If it looks too, if I put it on that white and it looks too green, I know I didn't make it black. So look, let's see what this looks like. That's interesting, huh? See that color? Let me put a little more green in it to get it grayer. I do like that red though. That's kind of cool. Get it grayer with more green. So you can adjust this to any level you want. I'm flipping the brush. Look, I'm flipping out, you guys. Look. All right, let's see what that looks like. That's kind of grayer, huh? A little bit grayer. So this is the back side of the mountain. I'm guessing this is the other side. It's all guesswork at this point. And I'm going to divide all these up like that. And I'm going to put it over here. And then I'm going to put little grooves in here like this. Watch. Little tiny things like that. Because you got a little motion, a little bit of motion in there, right? And then you do this, come down like that. You get a little bit of gray down here just to keep it keep it real. Keep it real, you guys. All right. And then maybe you got a little bit of something there. Come down. Hey, that's a floating mountain looking space. Look, it's and then you come back and put more snow on there or meteors. But that would, if I had a picture with all the trees and stuff like that, it would look like snow. Okay. So about a little more, watch this white into this with a little bit of blue in it. Let's see what that does. I'm always like, well, I wonder if that'll work. Watch. Will that work if in the same dollop? Let's try it. Kind of neat on it. Kind of fun to paint on a wet canvas. Let's put something down here. Let's put a little more blue in there just for the fun of it. And the other colors. Who cares, right? Let's do this. All right, that's kind of fun. Look. That's nice. Let's see. Let's put a little bit up in here. And I think we need a little bit of that. If I'm thinking properly, which could be a big deal here with me, why don't we put a little blue in the back of the back of that mountain there? I'll add a little bit of white to it, put it in here, test it out, put a little more blue in it. And I'm going to put it back here in the back of the mountain where the shadow side is. See that? And more blue in there. And that's a soft mountain, huh? Crazy looking mountain, but it looks kind of cool. Let's blend this down. Like that. Now, you're going to need a brush that's going to soften all this. And that, somebody brought up that idea earlier about when to use a sable. Well, when you want to blend things, that works too, or you can use your Alexander brush. But watch this. This is where you want to soften it down. Look, do your little X stroke like this. Get it so it's nice and soft. So you go down and over, down and over, down and over. Hypnotize that background. This is a soft Alexander foliage brush. So you can do this, just soften it down like so, like that. Get it in there. Do it like this because you have the power. Remember, you have the power, you guys. Even out here, if you want it to look like a ethereal painting, just take it out like this on the edges, like so. Just kind of build it like a circle, you know, like the circle of life. Look, you got like this circle here, see? Like an oval circle. Look, go through the middle, make this oval circle like that. And then you got this nice little painting here. You're blowing your mind, and all of a sudden everybody's going, that Tom Anderson, he could paint. So you're just making this funny little painting here. Then you pick up your palette knife, and then you go, I veered off from the snow, Lori. Is that okay?
Yep, Tom, it's just fine.
So you can come down here, get this in, you know, just try to find something as a little area down here. You do that. You could reflect this just kind of down this way, down like that. Just get a little bit in. You don't need a lot. You could do that, right? You could do a lot of things. Pull that down. Just have a nice little snow scene. This is something you could teach all you guys who want to be Alexander instructors. You could teach the painting like this so fast. And you could go across like this after you do that. Look, kind of blend it a little. See, get in the water. Go like that. Then you could put something right here in the foreground. You could do rocks. You could do trees. You could do a lot of things. You could even take your palette knife and go back to this. Watch. I'll flatten this down really well. Don't want any extra oil in it. You take this down. You could put a little thicker white in there. That would help. But you could pick this up, come back to your mountain, and kind of put little extras on top. So you don't really need all this detailed until later. See how that looks? Pretty cool, huh? Flatten it out again on the palette. So you just need the idea down below everything before you come back and, you know, get into the little nuances, the details. Work it down. Now, if I had to put that gray in the middle right here, you wouldn't see those little crevices. That's why when you break your paint properly, you can build that up. So let's get a little more of this, and let's do something interesting. Let's go over that like that. Stop doing the same motion. That's a good idea. Come down like this. Bring that down. Let it drop. Now down here, you can pull this down like so, and you can blend it, soften it like this, pound it out with your big brush if you want. Pull it this way, pound it out. Let's just put a real quick snowy tree in there, okay? So real quickly, I'm going to grab my fan brush, put it up here, and then maybe we should put some snow in there too. Oh, and you know what? Sweetheart, if you set up some oil, I'll clean the brush off for you with soap, water, and vegetable oil, and then I'll spray some snow on there. How's that sound, Lori?
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, so more alizarin crimson, phthalo green, and I'm going to add some violet to this just because it makes it look good. Okay, so I'm going to get a tree in here. Let's put that tree right about there. So I loaded the brush up. We're in a pretty red color. Let me get a little more green in there. Back down to the palette. Hold on. Can you see my palette, Lori?
Yes, you're moving quite fast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I
That's
do
right.
paint pretty quick when I want to.
I know.
Phthalo green, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to do it. It's just when I'm doing stuff like this, I really move fast. Okay, so I got a tree up here. I added a little more green to it. Okay, and we probably want a foreground, right? Probably want something here within our little circle. Okay, let's leave that. I really like the way that looks right there. How's my circle looking? Pretty interesting, huh? There's space out there. Okay, so now we'll pick up a little bit more dark. See, you got to have a lighter background to show dark. Let me show you guys a little trick. Draw a line, draw a line, draw a line, draw a line. Small, larger, a little bit larger, and a little bit larger. You're going to start small. I'll go right-handed. I'm not right-handed, but I'll do it. So I'm going to hold it like this using the corner of the brush, just the corner. And I'm going to tap it like this, back and forth, small to larger. And as I start going halfway down, I'm going to get a little bit larger, a little bit larger. I'm very slowly getting a little bit. Now I hit the white, so shove right into it. Look, harder. As soon as you hit that white, shove in. Go right through it. Pound through the white. Now it's getting lighter, look. So I'll have to add more dark. Not a problem. Now switch, watch. You get right through that white. Dig right through it. And then when you come back and do more dark, guess what? It's all there. Wipe off your brush. You don't have to clean it. Just wipe it off. That white on there looks really bright, huh? Compared to that background. So wipe it off. Now reload. You don't have to clean the brush at this point. Just reload with more alizarin, more phthalo green. Pick up the paint and just go back and try to copy where you were at. You've seen Bill do this a million times on TV. And just reload and push deeper into the canvas. And look at that. Bada boom, bada bing, right? See how nice that is? That's just a simple little idea. You got twigs, you got all kinds of stuff going on here. Little grasses. Look, you never know. Could be a deer over there. Anyhow, then you can take your palette knife. You could take a, watch this. See that color right there? Kind of a greenish color. You can add red if you want. Permanent red if you want to add it. That would warm it up. Add a little bit of white to it. Now you got sort of a nice color. You don't know what you got. Come in like this. Walk that paint up. I call this walking the dog. Look, you're walking the dog. Do you guys see that? You might even want a little bit of that down here. Who knows? You got a little pathway in there. You never know. You never know what's going to happen in art. Then you can take this, you can pull out this way. Or you can take your liner brush over here, and you could add a little white, add it in here, and pull out your little branches. You know, just have fun with all this stuff, you guys. You don't really have to, see, you don't really have to think too much. You know, you just want to have fun with these ideas. Maybe put your branch down here, get a little bit more dark in it. Get a little branch off to the side. See what happens. Pull it up here. Should have another tree here. Maybe something like that. Who knows? Pull that up. You just let it go away. Now, you're going to load up. Like, let's add more green to this. Just, I'll show you. Just a little bit of green into this. I hope everybody's not panicking on this. Look, now I got a gray-green. Now I need to make it a little lighter so it didn't pop. So a little bit more white so you can see it. Watch. Because sometimes if the color's too close, it doesn't work in value. So let's put the gray-green on. Now we're in business. Look. Do you see that color now? You got a gray-green in there. Now we want a little gray-green down here too. It's kind of a monochromatic idea. Put some of these up here, like get some down here. The bottom, flip it over. This is just, I didn't plan this, you guys. I'm just making this up as I go. Now we need snow on everything, right? Because gray, purple, and all this stuff is kind of fun to look at. Wipe off your brush. Okay. You needed it. Now I'm going to grab white. Now watch how I do this. I made the light look like it's coming from the left. So I want to start with the left side. Now white on white is nothing. So I'll try to avoid a little bit of that dark on the left. Keep the dark in there and just kind of tap it in like this. 1, 2, 3. Up, 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 up. Let's put this out here. I don't even know what this is. Is it a tree that's back here? I'm just trying to fill in this space. We'll just see what that looks like. We don't know. This kind of hypnotized. Anyhow, a little more white. Dip in. Let's try this out. A little snow on there. Coming into the painting. It's a snowy day. We got to get the snow sprinkled on because I promised that. It really looked weird. Like it looked more like a space scene the other way. So we got snow down here. We got snow everywhere. Let's just pop that in. My brush is angled up like so. Got a little snow on that. How about down here? A little bit more. More white. This time, look, I'm just trying to pick up more. That's getting cool, huh? Now, if you got snow down here, you do need a cool color, right? Something that's kind of cool. So if you take a little bit of blue, put it in this same dollop. I know you guys are saying, how do you work one dollop? You can. Put a little blue behind the tree. Put a little blue down here. Put a little blue behind here. Put a little blue, you go back to school. Put a little blue down here, look. Okay? Okay, is this bogged out enough? And I'm going to show you the snow now, but here's the blue. I'm going to add a little bit more blue before I do the snow, watch. A little bit more blue, just so you can see that nice contrast, watch. See what the blue did, look. A little bit more that just made a happier painting, look. Maybe a little bit more up there. How about some in there? Did I forget that? It could happen, you guys. Anybody could forget anything. I think I'll just blur this out and just call it a day on that side. But like I didn't have this all planned. Anyhow, so let's clean the brush. Here we go. Your brush has got, now I can do a better job at that, but of course I'm just showing you in a short amount of time how to do this, but watch. Oh, you know what? Let me pull that out and create a couple of streaks here. That looks kind of good, doesn't it? There you go, Tom. Stein it, no. All right, so I'm going to show you now. So I have me a container here. It's got a grate in it because you need to rub it on something. You can see the grate. Just a little grate. In this container, I have a third vegetable oil, a third dishwashing soap, and a third water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake it up, get it all synergenic, pour it in this container, and I'm only going to pour it about 1 inch over the grate. Okay, so it's about 1 inch over the grate. Clean off my hand. And now you're going to see the snow because you can't really see the snow. The other thing will look like a space scene. If I was doing sand, it would have looked like a sand, like sand. So it's just a matter of what you're painting. I'm going to take the fan brush. I'm going to go to the palette. I'm going to clean off the brush like this. Just rub it back and forth. Paint's coming out. Okay, just rub it like this. Sometimes little circles work. You know, just don't do it like, you know, kill it. You know what I mean? Just rub it, keep rubbing it. Then take your brush, and I do this a lot. Sometimes I'll just go to a paper towel and just kind of pat it out just to get any extra soap and water out. And then sometimes I'll just go to another brush that's already clean Or if I'm using the same brush, I'll take a paper towel and just squeeze it. I don't pull the hairs. I just wipe it or squeeze it because I don't want to ruin the brush. So don't go grab it and pull it. You know, you're going to lose the hairs eventually. Wipe it off as well as you can. Sometimes I'll do this. I'll just because see, you might get a little soap and water in the ferrule, but if you do this, that'll get that coming out of there. Just wipe it off really well. Sometimes it takes a second cleaning, but not in this case. This is pretty good. So then you go back to your medium. Get that on the palette. I'm in the way. Back to your medium. Put it on the palette. Grab your white. I'll go back here again. Make it kind of soupy again. Okay. Don't want it too thin. Now we can get snow. Watch. A little bit more. There we go. It takes a minute. Now do you see it? There's your snow. Look. That's nice, huh? What a beautiful painting I did in a short amount of time. It's kind of cute, huh? Now, for some reason, I see this big Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer right there in my brain. And then if you want bigger snowflakes, look, it takes a minute to get this working. Look. You can come in here like this too and scratch up graffitos like Bill would have done. Draw little sticks up here, through here and there. I'm just having fun, you guys. Kind of like you don't want to quit, huh? Sometimes I'll use my finger. That's called fregazi. And you'll do this. You know, just move this around like that. Kind of clean it up a little bit. You know, I don't know how oval that looks, but because I'm too close to it to really see it really well. Looks pretty good. All right, and then now at this point, the last thing is that's when you can turn your brush around and you can go ahead and add in. Keep your art wipes in handy, you guys. Now, I said earlier, painting is not messy, but I have to take that back for 1 second. If you're doing this and you're spraying stuff, you're going to get a little messy, okay? Well, then just think of Pollock. You're in good shape. All right. Here's a little bit of white. You can do some of these larger ones, just like that. Just come back up here, do a little bit bigger ones, and you got yourself a really nice, fast, or you could use contact paper and cut out an oval and then paint it all in that and then have the black on here and then take it off. You could do that too. I feel like I want to put a big birch tree right there. That'd be cool, huh? Right? But you know what I'm saying. I hope you guys enjoyed that. But you know, your brain just keeps going on and on and on. Did you guys like that? Did you have fun?
Well, that was fun. And as you say, Tom, you just never know what you're going to do.
I didn't plan this. This was fun, huh?
Yeah, no, we'd love to. You're still painting. I'm going back off.
I can't help myself, Lori.
Yeah,
I'm just too ADD. I'm too energetic.
Yeah, I know it. Well, thank you so much, Tom. That was a lot of fun to watch. And Art by Linda says sign it.
Oh, really? Well,
yep.
I'll sign it right here.
Okay, hold on just a minute, Tom. Let me get a close up. Don't go yet.
All right. Now, I'll just put my graffito in here. I can see it. You probably aren't picking that up, but it's there. There you go. It's scratched in. Did that
Okay.
snow in? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It
looks
just
good.
needs, Lori, it just needs something else, like a tree or something, an old crooked tree right here. But for the amount of time that I'm trying to show the snow, did I get the snow idea really well?
Yep, you did get the snow idea really, really well. And Tom, there's two. Maybe when you're spraying snow on, you get messy. There's another time when an artist might get messy, and that's when they're trying to do something in a hurry.
Oh,
Because, like Bill, when he was on, when he only had so much time, or you, when you don't have time, because when we're doing our workshops and stuff like that, and you've got all the time you need, um, yeah, Bridget says, since I'm the one, since I wanted the snow demo, I want the painting.
okay. So,
Anyway, so yeah, so sometimes, well, like when we're doing our workshops and stuff, Tom takes his time and he never gets messy. And and just so you know, that handsome Hondo that we showed you in the beginning, Tom used that same concept of changing the dollop, changing the color. And the more you do that, and the more you learn how to make whatever color you want out of whatever color you have, that is when true liberty comes. Because look at Tom didn't waste any paint. You don't end up with all these colors on your palette that you mixed because you needed one or two dots or drops of something, but you had to make a pile of it. So Tom just keeps using that same dollop, and he knows what to do to change it from one to the next. And I will tell you that the people that are studying with him are learning this and know this as well. So
sure.
you can learn it too if you're not in our master class yet, our series. And you know what I want to tell you, and Tom, I'm not sure if I think we've talked about this, but we are going to need to we're changing the name masterclass, and that's because people sometimes are confused. They think they have to be masters to join, but really what it was supposed to be is that we will teach you how to become a master. We will teach you master techniques, old master techniques, Bill Alexander techniques. We'll teach you all of those things. And so you're going to see this coming through with a different name, but it's still the same great program. It's just we talk to people, Tom, that are in the program, and several of them told me that, hey, the only reason I signed up is because I called Dawn and she explained to me that it was for. And so I'm thinking, what about the people that don't call? We need to make sure that the name invites people to join us. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we keep saying masterclass, and I think we probably always will. Well, it's going to be hard to switch, but
let me know when the name changes, because I'll stop saying it.
Okay. All right. Well, but we all know what it is. So, but right now that's what it is, but you'll see some different language, but we'll explain it to you. But the program that you're going to see will become, it's going to be the same great program. And Noah asked me, he had said he'd like to see a raining scene, and we have a wonderful raining scene called Walking in the Rain that everyone loves to paint. And that's in our intermediate level. And so we start out with level 1, then we go to level 2, and each level builds on the next and on the next. Then we go to level 3, which is the advanced. And then we actually have several levels in the beyond. We call it beyond masterclass because each time it gets more and more difficult. And the paintings get more complicated, and you learn more techniques. And it's phenomenal. And then our top level, and some of our top students are in here right now. It's called the Verrocchio Inner Circle, and that's a small group of people that have gone through all of our other programs and that are painting. And the way we work that is we work on 2 to 3 paintings a month. And we alternate. So we have drying time, and then we get into glazing and a lot of old master techniques to where we let the painting dry and we come back and build up on it, and we can get a lot more depth in it. That's what we're doing with Hondo. It'll be a 10-hour project, but probably 10 or 11 or 12 or whatever Tom decides. But we have some projects in our Beyond that are 20 some hours. And just think what you can learn from Tom in 20 some hours. And so it's just amazing. And I'm so proud, so proud of a lot of, our students that are in our program now and how far they've come as artists. It's just amazing. And it's so rewarding. And so if you aren't with us yet, join us, because we have a lot of fun. We've got a great community, great people. We become really good friends. And it's a wonderful, wonderful way to do it. And you get to paint on your time. And the thing I haven't mentioned is in those top levels, all the way through the levels, you get reviewed. Your paintings get reviewed by an expert artist right from the beginning. Your very first painting is reviewed by people that are some of our top artists. And so you get feedback, and you get to learn how to change your paintings and how to correct them and all of that. And then when you get up into the upper levels, then you have Tom as your mentor that gives you the feedback, and you get face-to-face communication with Tom as he's looking at your painting on the screen. And so it's an amazing way to learn to paint. So if you're not with us yet, you need to get with us. So make sure you're on our email list, watch for this next round. And we only open it up every once in a while. So we're opening it up for the final time this year. So you won't be able to get in for a few months. So like I said, we've got payment plans. It's very economical, and it's thank you, Bill. Bill says it's a top-notch art class. It really is. It's just amazing. The bedroom painter, welcome. This is my first time here. So glad to have you. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Hope you'll come see more of what we're doing. We do these Q&As once a month. Usually it's the first Tuesday of the month. Sometimes it's the second Tuesday, depending on what's going on and when holidays are. So with that, Tom, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Yeah, that's right, Bridget. The reviews help so much in learning how to get past the struggles. That's exactly right. And, you can only know, you don't know what you don't know. And when you have people that are on the path, steps ahead of you, looking back and helping you, that have been in exactly where you are, when that happens, you can't go wrong. So thank you so much for coming, everyone. Tom, thank you for all your knowledge. Thank you for your willingness to give. One of the things I love about you is that you want to share everything you know. And that's what our mission is to, and I think we've got, who knows? I mean, we've got years and years and years yet to go before we can know all that Tom knows, because he surprises us every time. So we hope you're doing. What, Tom?
I surprised myself.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for everything. And Linda Anderson, Tom's wife, is behind the cameras. She's the one that makes it possible for us to see Tom and what we're doing. So thank you for your work. And she'll tell you when we get off, Tom, it was quite the experience to try to keep up with you tonight. So.
Oh, really? Was it?
That's good. So
I was trying to go slow.
Oh, I know. But the thing is, this is a different platform than we're usually using. And so there's different ways. We have more steps to pull up a screen. So
you know what pull this painting off, Lori? A nice birch tree that's brown here. It would just bring it in the foreground and make everything go back there really nice.
So you know what? I have a feeling later on tonight, Tom is going to text me that painting with that birch tree in it, and we will share it on the next Q&A.
I'll probably put it in right when we get off.
I know you will. And we'll show it all to you. We'll show it to you guys next.
You know what I'll do?
What?
This dollop that I have down here, that's all kind of just in one place. I'll just add yellow and red to it. It'll turn brown, and there's the tree.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll be watching my phone to get it in probably about 10 minutes.
Okay, or
all right.
2.
Yeah, all right, or 2. Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, thank you so much, you guys. Love to spend this time with you. And Tom, thanks again for everything. And we will sign off now, and we will see everybody next month, but we'll see you inside our programs before that. So thanks everybody, and have a great night.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys. Love you guys.
Love you.
All.
Bye.
Bye.